His loyalty was unquestioned, but his friendship was what Marcus valued most. Simon knew him better than any man could, and since Marcus had no wife or children, the sergeant probably knew him better than anyone ever had or ever would. Though he was no longer alone. The new additions to his life had driven him to drink, something frowned upon in the order. Wine to quench the thirst was permitted, but in excess, never. Yet he could be forgiven. He should be forgiven. It was a one-time occurrence, not to be repeated, not after what had happened. Marcus became serious. Whomever he spoke of, it shouldn't have happened. I sinned. Simon lowered his voice, bowing his head slightly as he checked the horses' saddles. No one could blame you, sir. You have been through so much. Marcus grunted. No more so than many others. Well, that may be, but just because others have suffered as a collective doesn't make it any less easy for an individual. Marcus mounted his horse and regarded his sergeant. When did you become so wise? It must be the company I keep. Marcus laughed, tossed his head back, immediately regretting it, his left shoulder roaring in agony. He gasped, then cursed. Will this pain ever cease haunting me? Never, if you keep straining it. The wound needs time to heal. Marcus frowned, then glanced about the sleepy village outside Paris. I think there will be plenty of time for it to heal in this God-forsaken place. Simon mounted his own steed and regarded the area. It is rather bleak, isn't it? It's definitely not Jerusalem. No, but what is? Can there be any place more holy, more spiritual, than where our Lord himself walked? Marcus stared at the steeple of the humble church, then closed his eyes, picturing the land that had been his home for most of his adult life. He was a Templar, dedicated to protecting the Holy Land from the infidel Muslims, and sworn to provide safe passage to pilgrims on their way to visit the birthplace of their religion. It was an honourable life, one he had no regrets about having committed himself to. None except one. One he had never reconciled. A little boy burst from a doorway not 50 paces away, his face stained with tears, his cheeks pale beyond compare, almost as white as his wide eyes, and covered in blood. He sprinted toward them, then stopped, his jaw dropping at the imposing figure of Marcus on horseback, in full regalia, his white surcoat with red cross impressive, despite the humble cloth from which it was made. "What is it, boy? Are you all right?" The child's eyes fixated on the cross emblazoned on Marcus's surcoat, then they rolled into the back of his head as he collapsed to the ground.